Well, good morning. Tuesday morning here. Look at what we got. This regulator has had problems, been up and down. Sometimes it moves, sometimes it doesn't move. When it does move, it doesn't have a lot of power. The plan is now, and they are just starting to process those hydraulic pumps. I've shown back here this clutch assembly. Well, I'm sorry. That's the gearbox. Back in there is the clutch assembly. I'd shown that before, taken apart. But these hydraulic pumps here, and I would assume this right here also is going to get taken off and rebuilt. That's their next plan of action. There you go. So we'll see what happens there. Got our morning train in. Pulling down to start dumping. I'm going to be heading out here this morning, the Tuesday morning, and we're going to be spreading more ties this morning today. We got a lot to do yet. Got to wait for this train to clear so I can get across the crossing. As you may have noticed, different wheel profiles make different sounds at different speeds. How about that? Not all wheels have the same profile. They have the same profile when they come in and they're new, but over time they wear at different rates. So not all the wheels have the exact same profiles. There you go. Well, we got a little family of turkeys here this morning. They're guarding our road. Several of them over there in the weeds that you can't see. The train's just about dumped off, so we're going to have to wait for him here till we can get on track. But last week's video I showed you a moth and turkey buzzards. This week's video we got turkeys. Bridge 9. tell you guys, we may, my buddy Richard, he's up there driving the truck from the back up there on the crane, on the grapple. Okay, wanted to tell you guys here at the end of July, we have a contract that is coming, expiring. We are represented by the United Mine Workers of America. We are a coal mine, as you know, so we're UMWA, and they've been negotiating a new contract with the company. They had some meetings to explain the new tentative contract yesterday. I was unable to attend any of those meetings, so can't give you any accurate information. You know, the guys talk, hear rumors. I don't have any accurate information to give you. We may be voting on that tentative contract tomorrow. We'll see. Well, one thing I did want to tell you guys, currently there are right around 478 union employees at this mine. And obviously the number changes all the time with new hires, retirees, etc., you know, so that's right around there. And honestly, I don't know exactly how many company personnel there are. Whoa! But I'm going to guess and say right around 150. That is a guess. And then there's all kinds of departments like engineering and payroll and human resources, environmental, purchasing, and on and on. Plus all the the supervisors and foremen and stuff. So there you go. One thing that is constant about the railroads and coal mines all over the place, and that constant is change. Things change. I guess that's the way it is with life too. So change doesn't mean it's good or bad. It just means it's a change. And again, I don't know what's going to happen with this contract, but we're fortunate we are working. Last couple years has been a depressed coal market all over the country, the United States, all over. But coal markets run in cycles. You know, they've been down depressed coal markets since way back, and then you have coal booms, and then you have coal depressions, and that's the way it goes. So you ride out the cycles. All right. We're getting things done today. All I can do is come out here and do what I can do and work safe and get something done during the day and go home. Huh? tie gang comes up, the tie crane will set those in place for the tie remover inserter machine. So we don't have to get them perfect. Each tie exactly where they're going to go. Tie crane will do that. Well, we're coming up here into curve 39. This is the one that I talked to you, showed you there the week before. Well, probably 2 weeks ago. Videos where I told you this is a compound curve and how the geometry truck read it. So I want to maybe explain a little further about compound curves, what exactly they are. I told you in that video that very basically, simply put, a compound curve is a curve within a curve. In other words, we have one single curve here, but different parts of it have two different radiuses. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about what compound curves, and a lot of people want to know, is an S curve a compound curve? So I'll show you that here and explain that a little bit in more detail. All right. Well, Richard's loading up some more ties to take down there. So we got quite a pile here to get taken. We got one more load and we'll be done from the harbor up to here. And then we're going to start going that way up toward the prep plant. And got quite a few. I don't know how many we've got spread down there so far. But I don't think we got, somewhere around half. But anyway. These are all creosoted. Creosote is a coal tar distillate produced from the making of coke for steel out of coal. Of course, coke is made from coal, as you know, and that's where creosote comes from. But these little holes here, when the tie, before the tie is creosoted, it runs through a big drum, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember the proper name of that drum, but it punches little holes in there in the wood. They go in about a ½ inch, depending, somewhere around that, but that helps the creosote to get into the wood better. How about that? Pretty cool stuff, huh? Well, guess what? Look at that baby, just coming in. There you go. Tie gang's starting to show up. Well, they get this thing moved out here, outside the barn, here on our storage track, and looks like somebody was in and did quite a bit of taking things apart. I guess they left that's the transmission. But the two pumps are gone. My. What a job that had to have been. Okay. There you have that. Told you we'd talk to you a little bit more about curves. First off, a lot of people have asked me, railroad curves are measured in degrees. So we have a 3-degree curve, 10-degree curve, 12-degree curve, 7-degree curve, etc., etc., etc. How that is figured. This is a circle, obviously, and your center of your circle. Let's say our railroad curve started here and went around, and our curve ended here. Okay, that's called the arc of a circle. If we took any point, oh, by the way, this would be called a circular curve. Okay, and again, this is not what I'm going to talk to you about today. This is not a comprehensive lesson on railroad curves. A lot of people, I just want to go over the reverse curves, the S curves, compound curves, and show you better what they are. But first off, get a lot of questions I've asked about measuring. So in this arc, at any point, you would take a point here and then take a 100-foot cord to the point on the opposite end. Could start here and end up here, wherever. That doesn't matter. Okay, so you got a 100-foot cord between any 2 points on the arc, and this is your radius from the center, the radius. And then you measure this. The degree between the two radiuses gives you the degree of curvature. All right, and you could also measure at the midpoint, at 50 foot, down to this string line. If this was a string line, you could measure that at halfway, and that would give you pretty close what the curvature is also. All right, so I hope that clears up a lot of questions from a lot of people on why railroad curves, or how railroad curves are measured in degrees. Okay, let's go down here. We have below bridge 3, say bridge 3 here. This is headed east, curve 24. And then we have curve 25, and this is how it goes, coming back from the plant. So this would be a left-hand curve and a right-hand curve. In other words, that's called handing in a curve. So the way it's going, that is whether it's a right-hand curve or not. If we were coming this way, this would be a left-hand curve, and this would be a right-hand curve. All right, this is a reverse curve or an S curve with a short tangent between the two. Okay, those tangents have to be at least 100 feet in length. I've heard the formula 1.5 times the longest piece of rolling stock you have, that tangent has to be. But this is not a compound curve. Okay, this is a reverse curve or an S curve. Now, when I'm tamping this, I will start down here in my tangent with my plot, and I'll plot this curve up around to right about in here. So this would be called this right here would be called a spiral curve, as this would too. I would plot this. I would not plot these two together. All right, I would plot them as individual curves, two different spiral curves. Now over here, we have a compound curve. This is not an S curve. It's not a reverse curve. A compound curve has to go whatever this direction this is going, which would be left hand. This part has to be left hand also. And the radius on this could be different than this. You know, it could be a different degree of curvature on this than it is on this. That doesn't make any difference. To be a true compound curve, it's got to go in the same direction. Now, when I'm plotting this with the tamper, I didn't draw a tangent out here, but say there's a tangent out here. I would start my plot, and I could plot this entire thing all at once out through the tangent out here. And this is a short tangent between the two. All right, so that's the difference between a compound curve, an S curve, reverse curve. How about that? Also, So I hope that is enlightening. I feel like a 10th grade geometry teacher. And all right, that's it for the geometry lesson for today. Test will be on Friday. All right.